So I'm telling you.
No, you didn't say that.
It's a victimless crime.
Look,
it is a.
You are trying to distract us from the fact that you screwed up.
No. This
March. This was supposed to be Irish Films Month.
You screwed up.
And you gave us Quentin Tarantino.
You know, people.
Which was supposed to be July, so we could have 5 weeks of Quentin.
Well, you just like aired that out. People would have never known. Like we didn't say, hey, we're gonna do Irish Films Month. It was just gonna be a nice little surprise. And if we failed, no one would have known. If you hadn't brought this up, no one would ever have known.
I felt like this needed to be aired.
No, see, this is a team effort, and the team failed. Okay? There is no I in team, but there is a me, and me feels betrayed by you not being part of the team. That's what I'm saying.
Who didn't even try.
Didn't have our backs. He's the real villain in this story.
If we're doing movies, we're doing movies. I don't look too deeply into the reason.
Yeah, welcome to the Transmit Podcast, where we just we realized 2 movies in, oops, our list was a little off. Listen, we Slack is a good app, but it's not 100% apparently.
I believe the ticker is work if you want to invest in it. That was just a random.
Oh, let's get this. Let's move on. Desperately wanting to not be blamed for your part in this debacle.
Yeah,
I didn't have a part.
Oh, you took.
Oh no, you didn't.
I don't pay attention
you're
as
not
much
the
as
third person in this group.
Spike pays a lot of attention to it.
I do. Apparently not enough. Okay, so welcome to the Transmit Podcast. We're continuing, I guess, erroneously, Quentin Tarantino month. How about we just put Irish month in Quentin Tarantino month? We'll just do 2 movies in one.
Did he do an Irish movie?
Maybe. I mean, there's probably an Irish person in there somewhere.
Was it Reservoir Dogs or which one?
I mean,
what was his Irish movie? Is he Irish? No, he's not Irish.
Tarantino is very Italian sounding.
Yeah, that is. That's why. Why do you think he likes spaghetti westerns so much? Right. Well, here before we get into our other topics, I did want to say that we watched Boss Level.
That's true. We did see that.
And let me tell you guys, if you're like, listen, there's not a lot of movies coming out right now. Still, we're towards the. I think we're towards the end of this pandemic, but they still had to let this movie out.
It's like you can see the light. Like we were able to see the light. Now we're able to see at the end of the tunnel. No, you're starting to be able to make out the things at the end of the tunnel. Like, there's some trees over there.
Well, the way I see it,
eyes are.
Yeah, I can see why you say that. I think we're like 20 feet away from the end, and someone's just sitting there like, no. That's the way I see it. It's like they're sitting there saying, no, we're gonna need to go till like July or maybe next year. It's like, no, but we're right here. It's like, no, just stand here for another few months. But no, watch Boss Level. It's like Groundhog Day meets not Edge of Tomorrow. It's I'd say Dead. Is what I'd say.
Cool.
Yeah, it's because it's got that sort of first person soliloquy kind of fourth wall break. You know.
Oh yeah, and also the guy who plays Rumlow in the MCU, he is jacked.
Oh.
Put a picture of him, with just ripped.
I mean,
he's in his 50s.
Oh yeah.
Frank Grillo is like. Listen, I'm not into like dudes or even older dudes, but I
There we go.
In that movie,
he's banging. Yeah, that was a really good film. It's kind of got like the main character is like an archetype that you see in every one of these movies. He's like kind of a deadbeat dad.
Somehow still motivated
special forces. Just very like everyman, average Joe, but also special forces.
It's this weird cross section of everyman, average Joe making fun of nerds, super ripped 50-year-old, also living in like an incredible apartment with weird bed placement.
He's a player, but he's also doing this for a woman and for his kid.
Yes.
Look, okay, that apartment is very open concept. Okay,
you're right.
Like, there's no sensible place to put the bed against a wall. It has to be somewhere in the middle of the room.
What's that other first person movie? The first.
Hardcore Henry.
Hardcore Henry. It's a little.
I tried watching part of that,
and I
was immediately nauseated and carsick.
Yeah, and some people will have that with that movie. Like my sensei, he gets vertigo, and he could not watch that movie. Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say that Hardcore Henry had a lot, or Boss Level had like a lot of cool like boss characters in it.
It really did.
It was like a video game kind of, even more so than like Hardcore Henry.
So yeah, don't sleep on that. All right, that's just a little micro review we did there. How about? You want to get into the other stuff, or do you got something else to say?
No, I was just gonna go into the new Guinness World Record set by a brewery, this is honestly like
since we're talking about the
dumbest things that I've seen in recent times.
The
is
thing about
catapulting a keg.
Yeah, the thing about the Guinness Book of World Records, you could actually make up like some new world record. Like I spent the most amount of time like tantrically masturbating. But yeah, and
tantric.
And it also gets like really specific too. So like it can be kind of bullshit sometimes.
Your tantric masturbation?
Yeah, that is bullshit. Let me tell you.
So apparently, and there's, I mean, I don't really want to. I don't really care. Yeah, so Sierra Nevada, is this gonna?
There's yes.
Where's the
hit continue. There you
go. Is the company who took on the Guinness record for the farthest distance thrown by a trebuchet, a type of catapult that features an extra long arm, and they selected a big little thin keg to comply with the record's requirement. The projectile weighed at least 44 pounds, and they launched it 438 feet.
So yeah, it doesn't have to be a keg. Like it can just be whatever.
And it wasn't full. They said we didn't want to sacrifice any beer.
That's the part of this I fully agree with. So
they just filled it with water.
I mean, beer would have been better. Like they should have like thrown it into like a preschool. Like here's some free drinks.
There's got. Where are we even?
Okay, so they
watch
launched
it.
I guess so. Yeah, let's see.
So just we don't have any footage of the event, but we hear it was awesome.
Yeah, we hear
announcing Big Little Thing, the new 9% Imperial IPA from Sierra Nevada.
This is just straight up a beer commercial.
This is dumb. There's no video.
Well, just hit the play button down there.
Oh, there's the trebuchet right there.
Yeah, there's a trebuchet right there. Yeah, it's 32 seconds long. Okay, what's going on here?
Oh. Yeah, this is still the same.
Yeah, welcome to the Transmit Podcast where we just don't know what we're doing.
Oh. Lots of fun facts here.
Oh, it's like a 14-minute long video.
No. Go. How do we get back to the other thing where they actually there's like 30 seconds of
which is so exciting.
Yes.
So I hope a lot of you.
This was a whole live event apparently.
We missed the whole trebuchet. Like this, I can tell we still all have like work to do.
No, I know.
There it is in the back. So
it's got a nice little sense of humor as well. So
that was a test run.
Really.
Well, this is the thing is like if
I go back one.
Put
I
Big
saw
Little Thing
like
beer in that, and then have like a whole big backyard party.
No.
That'd be pretty cool.
Okay, hit refresh.
So I actually didn't drop this fun fact either, but
I just wanted to find the thing.
Right. There was a 30-second like version of this, and now I got to figure out maybe that arrow there. No, facing. Yeah, that one. Is that one?
It's not gonna. Take us to the top.
Oh, okay.
All right, so
I'm over this.
Yeah,
I was gonna try to find the thing, and
boy, we failed.
Oh, there it is. 32 seconds.
This is just the contest.
That's fine. It's probably going to show
Let's
everything.
give a little bit. Yeah, come on. Like, have a little.
It's just 32 seconds.
Yeah.
And if we
it's got the.
If we miss out, it's just 32 seconds.
Oh, they have a brand. Okay, this is all very like big little thing.
Wow!
Oh, there it goes. So you see, they launched it very far.
See, look, that was their world record attempt.
Oh, attempt.
Did they
on
break
the 11th, and they
did
did break the record. The previous was 252.
If you own a company, you can afford to just pay someone to make a trebuchet for you and break a world record.
So the previous record was 253 feet. They launched it 438.
Oh, that's
I feel like you can get really specific with world records.
You really can.
Like you can have the world record for like the longest time.
He's attached. Leave him alone.
That you held Grogu's hand.
Yeah.
But then you can have the longest time a man or a woman did it. The longest time a Hispanic man or a white woman. You could really break this down and break all sorts of records. This is the problem. This is what I was saying. Like Guinness World Records are kind of bullshit.
So like we can, so you with the trebuchet, we should get a trebuchet and launch like something that no one else would ever think to launch on.
A wrestler.
A Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda or a wrestler.
The farthest Baby Yoda.
Who's our lightest wrestler? Oh,
I'm not gonna go.
Well, you're not the lightest wrestler. We know Anthony. He's like a rail thin.
Launch Anthony.
If we duct tape him like,
I don't think any humans are gonna want to go on a trebuchet.
Although technically, I think you and Anthony might weigh like close to the same because he's like tall.
Oh, he's got a height advantage.
And you're a little bit shorter, so like the weight distribution.
All right. Well, what else are we?
Anyway.
I'll launch on this trebuchet. We'll think about it and we'll break.
We'll get back to you. Like
Transmit podcast.
So in the UK, a parish council has issued a request to villagers to stop putting erotic fiction in a communal library.
I had this temptation.
Following a number of X-rated books being removed from the converted telephone box, which is actually pretty cool.
You know, if I got all the pics on my phone and just published it as a book, that would be an erotic. 300 pages long of just
because
pics from my phone.
I used to be since I used to be a delivery driver for a grocery store. I would see like smaller versions of this, like in nicer neighborhoods. You never see this in bad neighborhoods where they're like, "Oh, let me give you the gift of reading here in El Cajon." It's always in La Mesa or something. But I always thought like, there's nothing stopping me from just getting some nudie mags and throwing them in there.
Cheeky villagers have been ordered to stop leaving X-rated books in a communal library. Officials complained after several saucy books were removed from the converted public telephone box in the quaint village of Hurstbourne Tarrant, Hants. The whodunit mystery has gripped the village as it still remains unclear which sly local has been adding the books to the kiosk, which sits next to a school playground.
Oh, there we go.
Now, the unknown owner of the books has been warned to find another outlet for their collection of erotic fiction.
That makes it worse.
Yeah, this just went from charming to like, ooh.
The parish council issued a plea to residents earlier this week on Facebook, writing, "We love our red phone box library on Church Street, but we don't love salacious adult literature being left in there."
Yeah, if this was just out in the countryside, I'd be like, you know what, this is fun and charming, and I'd love a whodunit mystery where we find out like the old lady of the community was like I'm putting my erotic fiction in there for everyone.
And they said, if whoever's doing so is reading this, please don't keep leaving inappropriate books. Majority of visitors to the phone box are children, and some of them are tall enough to reach the shelves where the books for grown-ups are.
Oh, you see, they put them up high, obviously. They're keeping the children in mind. They're putting the children's literature down low. They put the erotic like Anita Blake series up top.
If that were like an adult doing that, I feel like that would be really bad. But I feel like there's like a certain age where like you're a young teen, where like you're just like fucking around.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna put this.
If you're
okay,
what's the cutoff age?
Okay, but
like,
look, I'm looking at some of these
14.
books.
I can see that. Yeah,
I'm
15,
looking
16,
at some of these
there.
books,
Yeah.
and these don't look like children's books in there.
Then,
Anyway, like
they're like a J.K. Rowling book. Which was that?
Yeah,
that's her adult fiction.
It is.
Yes.
Is it? Does it have spicy scenes?
I want to read it.
Yeah. Does J.K. Rowling adult fiction have spicy scenes?
We're not giving that lady any money.
I might give her a few bucks.
No.
Well, you might. I might not. I will.
Was that book called Fated?
I
thought it said farted.
Fated. It says fated.
That's the erotic fate. Farted. It's a very
It's Brazilian farting women.
Okay.
So
Anyway.
hopefully it's a 15-year-old throwing some naughty litter.
Yeah.
Like,
hopefully.
oi.
Honestly, I do hope it's
and he used to go to the school.
an older woman,
Yeah,
some
older
old
woman.
lady who's like, I don't care. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
I am 85 years old. Try. I really.
I'm as old as the queen. I don't care.
If it's a 44-year-old man, we're in trouble.
It's like, oh, blimey. Here's me spank rag. I don't know why it's Cockney.
That was.
It's totally Cockney. Okay, so Netflix is cracking down on some shit now.
Yeah, they've sent, allegedly, I haven't seen this show up,
Me neither.
a warning to customers about password sharing. Some users were met with a new pop-up message from the streaming service.
Why is it showing the Menendez brothers?
That's what they're comparing you to.
Let's just hit
This is
pause on that.
this is you.
You're the Menendez
if
brothers.
you share your password with anyone, you're a fucking Menendez brother.
Netflix is testing a way to let users know they aren't supposed to be sharing passwords with others if they don't live in the same home. Yeah, okay. Alarm bells were raised on social media this week of a possible clampdown. Many people posted photos of a pop-up message they received when logging into Netflix. The message read, "If you don't live with the owner of this account, you need your own account to keep watching."
See, I don't have this problem with Netflix. I did this with my Disney Plus account. Like the person I'm sharing it with lives in like another city.
Okay, so, but look, they do, Is this your account? We'll send you a verification code. Email, text, or verify later. Like, I mean, this is only a problem if the person whose account you're borrowing is someone that you no longer speak with.
Right.
So,
Otherwise, you're just like, hey, be ready for a verification code.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Because honestly, most people don't.
Yeah. Also, how egregious
Netflix doing The Purge?
Yeah. How egregious is your like net password sharing if like if they can follow you on this like.
So what's actually really interesting about this is that I don't know, like a year or 2 years ago, the Netflix CEO was like, it's actually like a good thing that people are sharing their passwords because we have continual viewership and blah, blah, blah. So like they didn't care for a long time. But now I think with the pandemic, they're like,
yeah, people are like
we want your money.
Yeah, people are getting really selective with like their services. They're like switching over a lot now.
Also, Disney Plus recently hit the 100 million subscribers milestone.
So we're seeing a paradigm shift here.
So they're like
a paradigm shift.
A what?
A paradigm shift.
I'm not. What is that?
Well, that when you have a paradigm and then it shifts.
That's not a word.
That I've seen it written out.
How's it spelled?
Paradigm. Paradigm.
Apparently, 1/3 of subscribers to services like Netflix share their password with someone. God damn it! With someone outside their household.
Outside that means like 100% share it with just somebody.
Is that you?
What?
I'm gonna out you.
What?
Oh snap! Are you a Netflix pirate? Give me an R.
Do you share?
I'm not. I don't know.
Will you please?
You're Netflix with someone outside this household.
Will you please admit to a crime right now?
It's not a crime.
Netflix
First
fraud.
off,
Netflix fraud. What would
it's
Netflix?
not a crime.
What would Netflix police look
And
like?
this is still in the early stages of development and is currently not about enforcement nor stopping people from being able to watch Netflix.
I had it in mind. They have the little, like the hats.
Oh yeah.
It's all black.
Yeah.
They have the hats. They have like, it looks like riot gear kind of.
Nice.
They have black gloves. They have like big weapon, automatic weapon.
Big weapon.
I don't know what gun they would hold.
They probably have like a badge with a big N, red N on it.
Well, no, I was thinking, it's all black and they have like the bulletproof vest and everything. But the only thing that they have that's in color is like the red Netflix logo.
Nice, and they're like kicking in your door.
Maybe it's on the hat too.
And then like they're just the SWAT team. Then like the guy in the black, he's all black suited up, and he's got like he flips open his badge, which is the badge with the N on it. It's like Netflix police. We're here to ask you a few questions about your password sharing. It's like we've noticed that your password has been used on several different devices.
No, that would be okay if they lived with you. The person that you're sharing the password with, do they live with you?
Like, yeah. It's like really in this 1-bedroom apartment.
Do they live with you? And then they have like the Hitler hair.
Yeah. It's like that scene from Inglourious Basterds.
I imagine Nazis. I imagine they're like, I imagine them hitting a table and then doing this.
Doing the flip.
Because their hair is like, they always have that emo haircut.
Some sort of weird bang going on.
Anyway.
We have ways of making you talk.
And then they have the light that comes down. It's like, dang, you guys set up a table and a light? You guys have really good production values. Like, yes, us at Netflix, we like to take advantage of
we're a media company. We are big on flair.
Our resources to do this.
Yes. That's good.
So anyway, the Milwaukee Bucks had a hand sanitizer cam.
Yes. Remember the kiss cam?
Yeah. That has gone viral.
That makes that look like just like family friendly.
This looks, you know what this looks like? It looks like a Mentos commercial.
It does.
It looks like very 90s.
Okay, wait till you see the footage.
Hand sanitizer freshness.
So yeah, this is not squirt. Yeah.
She doesn't want to participate with that.
She's like, no. Oh, and she's not moving. Oh yeah, like.
Wait, it's
squirt. Oh yeah, that's great.
hand sanitizer cam.
Right on her face. Yeah, put it on her face. They're socially distancing, but apparently it can squirt 6 feet or more, though.
Air 5 can.
Oh, that's great. Air 5 can. Oh, they switched it immediately. I think there might be some more videos.
Look at that, uncomfortable too.
They scroll down. Might be some
I'm
more.
waiting for I was waiting for a girl to just stick her tongue out and go ah.
Yeah, that's what who thought this. No one like said, hey, this looks a little bit like someone's being what's the word I'm looking for? Ejaculated on. Look at that.
I guess like the concept was
is good
at first. And it's white too. It's not like a clear.
It's not. They could have fixed. There's so many. Oh, there you go. He knows what's up. It's like my favorite kiss cam thing is when like the two like siblings show up and they know they might be on kiss cam, so he holds up the sign that says she's my sister. That's as raunchy as that gets. This is totally like, oh yeah, I'm getting nutted on right now. Like this is my face.
That would be weird if they tried to get you to kiss your sister.
Yeah, well, I mean,
like the uncomfortable would be like, oh, they're just uncomfortable because they don't want to kiss.
Everyone
it's like, no, it's uncomfortable because she's my sister.
Exactly, they've been there before apparently. Because they're sitting there like you have a stadium full of people screaming, "Kiss her, put your mouth on her." It's like, no, she's my sister. Why aren't you?
They would both be uncomfortably laughing, and it would just look kind of innocent.
Yeah, it would. It's like, no, where's this? It's like, but no, that would be like super raunchy or like hot, depending on like your search history.
There was a year, I forget which year it was, where incest was #1 on Pornhub.
No, and that's the
I
great.
think it was like 2008.
And that's the great thing about the Pornhub algorithm.
Semi-recently?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I think in the 80s, I think is when it went. No,
it was the 2000s, man.
I know.
It was crazy.
I don't think Pornhub was around in the 80s. I'm like 70% sure. No, so, this is one of those concepts where they thought, no, we got pandemic. We're trying to push a positive view of sanitation and then safety. What's part of safety? Well, hand sanitizer, obviously.
2017, 2016.
Yeah, I think it was 2017.
Oh, people were like, you know what? So is it people who like want to bang their sister or people who wish they had a sister to bang? What's going on with that?
I don't.
And is it mostly? Well, I guess it's mostly men on Pornhub, so it's not like a lot of chicks are like, "Boy, I really wish I had banged my brother back in the day."
So hand sanitizer cam got us.
Oh, that's too far. That's too far. Okay, that's too far. I got you. No,
I don't want to keep looking at this.
Let's see. If you watch anime, if you watch anime, like technically, she's not my sister is like pretty much its own genre of anime. So it's like, they're into some different stuff over there.
Dang, let's see if we can do this.
Dig ourselves out of this hole and move on. You just click
I don't want it to be very hard. I want it to be like a natural progression.
Wait, what's the next thing? Oh, speaking of
bad sisters.
Of bad sisters, yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. Hey, nice. That was nice. Give me something. That was a good one.
There's something wrong with the two of you. Honestly, like
this is a different kind of bad sister, though.
Yeah.
This is of the 70s ilk.
Even though this came out in the 90s.
But she's originally from Foxy Brown.
For centuries, Americans have gathered
I feel like
together
this is going to be like
to celebrate
Adam
the
Sandler
holidays,
or Jim Carrey movie.
Reaffirm family ties, and wish goodwill to all men.
Or it's going to be a Chevy Chase
this
movie.
Christmas, Santa's got a brand new bag.
Now you got to listen to this.
Could have made this our
this
Christmas.
concerns you, all right?
Very, very technical.
It came out in Christmas.
You have the chance to walk off with $500,000.
Just re-review it in 8 months.
Yeah. What do a stewardess, a gun runner, a bail bondsman, an ex-con, a federal agent, and a beach bunny have in common?
You gonna come in on this thing with me, you got to be prepared to go all the way.
They're all chasing $500,000 in cash.
Back when that was a huge score.
$500,000.
I know $500,000 was a lot of money.
Let him get the money and then just take it from him.
She trying to play your ass against me, huh?
That was fun.
Yeah, I don't leave the spot. So she ain't your girlfriend. Is that what you thought? Well, I hope you felt appropriately guilty afterward. What'd I do?
She has a very architectural face. Very like
There's only one question.
Man, I ain't getting in this
Good
trunk.
symmetry.
You ain't gonna be in here no more than 10 minutes.
Man, I ain't riding in no trunk for no minute.
Who's playing who?
Let's make a deal. Yeah? So what you gonna give us? Are you gonna offer to set him up?
Yeah.
Or go doing something stupid?
Pam Grier, Samuel L. Jackson, Robert Forster, Bridget Fonda, Michael Keaton, and Robert De Niro.
Is she dead? Yes or no? Is she dead? Pretty much.
Quentin Tarantino's Jackie Brown.
AK-47. When you absolutely
It's like the third gun they showed in that film. They talking about AK-47?
Except no substitutes.
Nothing gets between me and my AK.
Like when he's saying AK-47, they're showing the Steyr AUG followed by like the Tech 9. I get what they're going for. It's like, you know, they have to time it out right.
I just I spent most of this movie wondering
Harvey Weinstein.
wondering how Quentin Tarantino roped De Niro into one of his films, because like, yeah, he always gets a pretty fantastic cast, but
that's a different level.
He got De Niro.
And
Like,
normally, if
I feel like he's almost an untouchable.
Yeah,
like you have to like.
Is he
know people who are like really good friends with people who know Robert De Niro in order to get him in your film.
Unless you're doing the later like Meet the Fockers movies.
Well, I mean, because it's Adam Sandler.
That's a different Adam Sandler,
or Ben Stiller rather.
Yeah. That's a different. That was a different time, and also it's Ben Stiller. Yeah, you're right.
I don't know. I don't know if this is his like second movie. I don't know if he was like that big a star.
I mean, at that time, I think he was a pretty big star. Because look, he looked like he was in his like.
De Niro. De Niro's been a big star since the 70s.
Oh yeah.
All right, he's got bigger stars in his films than I think De Niro, right?
Well, I mean,
like
if you look at those, if you look at the movies
in 1997, this isn't like.
I don't know.
This is Pulp
Harvey
Fiction.
Keitel. He had Harvey Keitel.
Well, this is like Pulp Fiction, like
which movie?
Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah, well, see, this is Reservoir Dog, Pulp Fiction time, and like remember, he brought
John
back,
Travolta.
He brought back John Travolta. John Travolta's career was on the downswing until that movie, until Pulp Fiction. So that's the thing. Like, if you want your movie to succeed, have John Travolta dance.
I don't know, but yeah, I don't know about Harvey Keitel. I was just saying.
I know you're just pulling names out of your ass. You know what? I think we were right to blame him for this debacle with the month.
Harvey,
it's his fault.
There's a couple things about Harvey Keitel. I like saying the name Harvey Keitel. I like saying it like this, Mr. Harvey Keitel.
You know, it's
Mr. Harvey Keitel.
It's like some of those football player names where it's like Manti Te'o. It's like there's some good names. There's some fun names to say.
Manti Te'o.
So it went Reservoir Dogs in 92, Pulp Fiction 94, Jackie Brown 97, Kill Bill 1 and 2 03 04, then Death Proof 07, Inglourious Bastards 09, Django 2012, Hateful Eight 2015, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood 2019. So, okay, he had made Pulp Fiction, which had Travolta, and it had Bruce Willis. Yeah, I knew you were gonna say Bruce Willis.
But that wasn't that pre Die Hard Bruce Willis?
No, it was post Die Hard.
Post.
Oh wow,
this is 92.
So,
Die Hard is 80s.
So okay, maybe that's why he got De Niro, is because he saw what Pulp Fiction did for Travolta and what it did for Bruce Willis.
Yep.
And, you know, maybe that, but I still feel like De Niro's got to be a harder sell.
I think so too. But here,
he must have pulled some strings.
How about we get into like what we thought about the movie to begin with? As like we noted, what we noticed was like, you know, we watched the Hateful Eight, and that was a beautifully shot, well done movie. That. Well, no, we watched. No, sorry, not the. Sorry, we watched Django. Sorry, I'm a little buzzed.
We watched. That can't be your excuse for every time.
Well, it's not my excuse for the mess up with the months. That's just, you know, your poor like listing of months is my excuse for that.
No, it's your inability to read words that are very clearly in front of you.
Oh, and your inability to remember words you wrote to put in front of me. But no, we watched Django, and we saw it was a very well shot film. And then we watched this, and you notice at certain times when people are just walking around like a mall in LA, we're sitting like, hey, this is a really well made movie. Like just its shot composition and how everything is structured and how everything's put together. We're sitting there like, hey, this is like really good.
There's a scene toward the end where Robert Forster It's like the heist portion, I guess.
Yeah.
He picks up the drop. He's got all the cash because these movies. This is one of those heisty type movies with where it's like, I just got one more job and then we're all retired and then we don't have to do this anymore and then we can all go live somewhere else. And which I guess everyone could relate to. Early retirement, which is possible without a life of crime. Just letting you know.
Okay,
but
let's not go into Bitcoin.
Once Bitcoin hits, I don't need to buy any more Bitcoin. I'm out. I'm out.
I guess that's the theme of the movie is everyone just wants to retire and leave LA. Like LA is a shithole.
But yeah, there's a scene where he's getting into the car and it's kind of like, oh shit, what's going to happen to him? Because like we saw like bad things happen to people
at this point
in the film. And so he gets into the car. It's a really tight camera on him. And then like it's showing the hood of the car. He sits down to go inside the car, but it doesn't follow him. It stays looking at like the scenery.
And yeah, we're all thinking, Samuel Jackson's gonna pop up and like with a gun.
Yeah, and then it kind of zooms out.
The music too. The music wasn't doing us any favors to take away our anxiety in that moment.
Yeah. So then it zooms out, and then like he just drives off like normal. It's just like very slowly, kind of zooms out, and is like. And the film's like, okay, he's good. He's fine.
Good. He's safe.
So that's like, it's crazy. Like you can tell a story just by camera movement.
Oh, yeah, it's
and
great.
Music. You can tell like a little, you can throw your viewers off just a little bit. There's the bread trail, and then like you kick it with your foot. They're like, where is the bread leading to now?
Yeah, because film goers, like they're used to a certain cinematic language. So you can use that to your advantage to make people think, oh, something's about to happen. And then it's like, and then it doesn't. It's like, oh, what, huh?
Yeah.
And
so speaking of Robert Forster, though,
I feel like I feel like everyone's pronouncing his name wrong.
It's so.
But then I look at the writing of it.
So technically,
I thought it was Forrester.
Yeah, no, you're wrong. So his name is Robert Forster. His actual real name was Foster, but he added the R because apparently a lot of people were named Robert Foster. Anyway, this
why not?
Many people may recognize this man from Breaking Bad and El Camino and then Better Call Saul as the identity guy.
Also,
he was the one who would help you go undercover and get out of town. This dude, who actually passed away semi-recently, he was one of the smartest people around. He was part of something called the 999 Society, which means that his IQ was in the 99.9th percentile.
And he was in American Pie as the clueless dad who just had to talk to his son about banging a pie. I don't know.
Was he?
No, that was Eugene Levy.
Yeah, that was Eugene Levy. What is wrong with you?
So Robert Forster, if he wanted to, he can really make you disappear.
No, Robert Forster is the American Pie.
I don't know. Check and see if he's an American Pie.
He was totally an American Pie.
Maybe he was another. It was another. I know Eugene Levy was the dad, the main dad.
He at least he looks like the dad from American Pie.
He does not. However, he was in Me, Myself, and Irene. And started acting in the 60s. He was in the Delta Force in 86.
He ran a vacuum cleaner repair shop.
Wait, he went from Delta Force to vacuum repair?
In Breaking Bad.
In Breaking Bad, it was the vacuum repair shop.
That's where you go if you want to disappear yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no one knows. I only know of where a vacuum repair place is because I happen to have to refuel the work van next to one.
It's like, I'm not sure if this is gonna have a little tangent, but it's like a real life game reset. Like you can only do it once. He's like, I need you to understand that once you pay me this money and I do this for you, this is the only other. You only get one shot.
Yeah.
When you're this identity, you can't do it again.
Yeah. If you
disappear, you never come back here.
Done.
So you only get one. So in the Breaking Bad universe, you can reset your whole entire identity, but you can only do it once. It's like in Grand Theft Auto, when you go to the police station and they let you out.
It's just, after
you're
done.
You just massacred everyone.
Yeah, you killed 40 people, but you're fine. Now, I had a dream like that, just earlier today when I was doing my midday sleep, where like I was changing my face for some reason, and I decided to like mesh it long.
Damn.
I have no idea why,
That's
but I'm sitting there like it's totally a video game thing. Like I don't know why I was doing it, but I was like,
you're trying to recreate your
I need a longer
character.
face. That's what I need.
Your in-game character.
Yeah, my in-game character. You think I'd be like, my nose is a little crooked. I should push that to the side and like get this tooth ticket. Nope, long face. I look like a Dick Tracy character.
I have honestly no idea what's happening anywhere.
He's talking about his dream.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay, okay.
So this cast is actually pretty spectacular.
Oh, yeah.
So obviously we've got Samuel L. Jackson, who is kind of one of Tarantino's mainstays.
Oh yeah.
And we have De Niro, who still mind is blown, and Robert Forster. But Jackie Brown, the main character, is played by Pam Grier, who is in this. I mean, this movie is kind of like an ode to blaxploitation films.
Yep.
She's literally like the queen.
Oh, she's a bad bitch.
Of blaxploitation films. She was Foxy Brown.
Like you got that picture?
And let me pull this up.
Foxy Brown.
So like here's like just kind of this one little snapshot, but here is the poster.
Look at this poster and look down there. There's like a whole bunch of stuff going on down there. What's going on? Yeah,
She's the meanest chicken town.
She's brown sugar and spice, but if you don't treat her nice, she'll put you on ice.
Whoa, she'll murder you.
Oh, I thought she was going to keep you cool.
Look, she's murdering this lady here.
She's like a headlock, gun to the head. And like, this is like a whole like female Greco-Roman wrestling montage down here.
Looks like a battle royal.
Right?
Female battle royal.
It's like you got a chick with like a bottle knife. You got like a judo throw. Like, look at that shit.
Yeah, she's doing a judo flip.
Tiny little gun that she keeps in her shoe.
Like a little 380. Look at that shit.
She's a bad.
You got some dudes with froze up there, like with a bunch of guns. Like, I think there's more gun there than there is like arms to like hold them.
But like, I mean, they couldn't have chosen. Well, Quentin Tarantino couldn't have chosen a better.
Oh yeah.
Main character.
And they make some like in the movie they make some like allusions to her age, being in her 40s, and a stewardess on an airline, like that's kind of shitty, but she's still a bad, like at the end when she's wearing that suit, it's like they're gonna know you're the baddest bitch in the room when you wear that suit. Like she is the baddest bitch in the room.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, yeah, when the trailer asks who's playing who, she's playing them, like everybody.
Yeah, because like our first introduction to her, she's basically just moving quickly through the airport to get to her next flight as a flight attendant.
And it's playing that one 110th Street song.
Yeah, and talk about letting a scene breathe. You mentioned this, like people didn't have attention span, like don't have attention spans now. Like back then, it's like you could just let this go for like 2-3 minutes of just her, like a side shot of her going to work.
Yeah.
So
just to let the whole entire song play through.
Yeah.
But that's our first introduction. She's hurrying through the airport to get to her next flight, and you don't really get kind of this impression that she's someone to worry about, like at all. And then as we move through the film, she's accosted by ATF, who find that she's got a bunch of cash and she's got coke in her bag that she's transporting on behalf of Samuel L. Jackson's character.
Yeah.
And then like you progressively see who she really is. She steals the gun out of the bail bondsman's car.
Yeah.
Played by Robert Forster.
And she knew she was going to need it. It wasn't like, oh, there's a gun, I'm going to take it. It was like, oh, I know Samuel L. Jackson's going to show up to like try and murder me.
Right. And then you kind of see this progression of where she realizes that if she doesn't do something to secure and protect herself, she's going to get screwed over.
And well, the thing about the gun thing, that was great because like that was almost a twist because it changed the whole context of like her like interaction with Samuel L. Jackson because we've already seen him kill Chris Tucker at this point.
Yeah, that was like the fastest appearance of Chris Tucker on screen.
Like ever,
he
just
was
random.
there and he was gone.
Yeah, and it felt very realistic. Like, oh yeah, I'm in this apartment. I'm shirtless. I'm high. No, come on. Just help me. Like, I got you out of jail so I could murder you. And then he like tricks him into getting into the trunk of the car. He's like, oh yeah, here's a shotgun. Just get out and act like her. And then he like drives him to a lot. And
literally around the corner.
Literally at the corner.
So it'll be like 10 minutes. We'll drive.
Yeah. And then he opens the trunk, pop, pop, and it's like it's way in the distance. It's really like cold and calculating. So then he's showing up. You know what's gonna happen. He like bails out like her, and he's sitting like with the gloves again, and like he's gonna try to kill her. And then you like in your tense, like how's she gonna get out of this? Because like we don't have a movie if she's dead. And then like cuts to the bail bondsman getting back to work, and he opens the trunk, is like or the glove compartment. And it's like, oh, the gun's missing.
Samuel Jackson keeps turning lights off, and she is not phased whatsoever. Like she keeps turning lights back on, and then she like takes advantage of the lights being off, and he like comes up to her, and she's got the gun in his dick.
Yeah,
and he's like, "What?"
That was the great reveal. Is like right around that time, like it shows like the guy, like he opens the bail bondsman. He opens the glove compartment to get to his gun. It's like, oh, that's gone, and the whole context of that scene flips.
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly, this movie is just finding out just how much of a badass Jackie Brown is.
Yeah.
Until you get to the very end, and she has outfoxed everyone.
Like Samuel L. Jackson, she outfoxed the ATF and the police.
And then she took advantage of this man, lovely man, who's absolutely completely in love with her. And she, I mean, you know, at least she does the nice thing. She's like, come to Europe with me. And he's like, I can't. And then she like kisses him and leaves.
He's too straight.
And he is a little too straight laced, but he's standing there. He gets a phone call. Someone asks him to bail out like their kid or something. And he's like, can you call me back in 30 minutes? And then he has to just stand. He's like, what the hell?
He has to cool down. His boner is just like too like raging there. He has to like walk away and be like,
well,
she definitely had feelings for him too, but she was like, I got to take care of me. And like,
then she asked that scene, she asked him if he was afraid of her, and he did that.
He was like, a little bit.
Yeah, you outmaneuvered like several parties. I mean,
so many people.
I mean, like, listen, the ATF, they were kind of competent, but like the main threat to you, like the Samuel L. Jackson, he was kind of an idiot. Let's be honest.
Yeah, Samuel Jackson's character.
What?
So like, when we meet him in this movie, he's hanging out with Robert De Niro,
who just got out of prison.
Just got out of prison 4 days prior.
Yep.
And Bridget Fonda, Beach Bunny, they called her in that trailer, watching chicks on
guns.
TV with the guns.
Chicks and guns, yeah.
Right? And so Samuel L. Jackson goes to take the phone call that came in, and Bridget Fonda is like, he knows nothing about these guns.
Yeah, he reads a bunch of shit.
Nothing.
He hears
everything
people say
that comes
things.
out of his mouth is the regurgitation of something he heard.
Yeah.
So like, he's got money and he's got opportunity, but he's
a poser. He's kind of a fake.
He's an idiot.
Like he has, like she admits, like look, he has street smarts, but that's about it. Like he can maneuver some like kind of like sketchy Chris Brown kind of like street like guy. Chris Tucker into like the trunk of a car after he bails him out, but he can't like outmaneuver anybody. He can't like think that much. He's just a kind of a scumbag who dresses like he's going to golf.
Yeah. And
like the real Samuel Jackson.
Okay, listen.
He literally dressed like Samuel. Like I think
he got his wardrobe from that.
Quentin Tarantino was like, I don't really have like a great wardrobe.
This is at the script
budget
reading
for this film, so you know, we can do the flight attendant outfit for Pam, and we can do like the second suit that she changes into. We got the robe.
Yeah.
The rest of you
just wear something kind of nice.
Bring something from your closet. I'll kind of give you an idea. Sam,
what you're wearing to the script reading here, this is nice.
This is great. You just kind of keep with this theme.
Yeah, what's that hat called he has?
That golf hat.
Yeah.
You know, and kind of the flowy pants and
polo shirt.
Yeah,
perfect.
Good. Loafers.
We're gonna slap
awesome.
We're gonna slap a crazy wig and like a goatee thing on you. And
oh my god, it was terrible.
It's like this long, like 5-inch long, like little strand of hair coming out of his chin.
This thing was like from here to here.
I have no idea what
that's 97. It was about to be the 2000s, so
it's coming up on the
That
Soul
flavor
patch.
saver.
Well, it was set in the
Can
in
we
95.
not call it that? That
It's
just
the
makes me want to
soul
vomit.
No, the flavor saver.
So gross. So
like now I just have images of like dudes letting food drip out of their mouth and it stays in their little patch here and like whatever. And then like 2 hours later they like lick it.
Yeah, no, it's food. It's food if you're lucky.
Kangle.
Oh, that's the hat.
Kangle brand, yeah, that's what Sam Jackson wears.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's got some nice Kangle brand hats.
Yeah.
What was it? Michael Keaton. Let's not sleep on Michael Keaton on this. The ATF guy. He's like showing up.
Was this this was post Batman, wasn't it?
Post Batman. Yeah, this was like Batman was like earlier 80s, and he's sitting there. He's like posing up a storm, like when he's interrogating Jackie Brown. He's
late 80s, early 90s.
There's like one wall where he keeps going to. Like he doesn't go to like that wall over there. He only goes to this wall, and he's sitting there like we're on camera right now, but he's sitting there like he's like really getting.
He worked the hell out of this film. And then he like gets in the chair and he like sits on shit.
Can you do that with this chair? No, it's not.
No,
it might be a little too dangerous.
I would die. Yeah, but
you're gonna have to hold one side of the chair.
Yeah,
for
both
him
of
to
you
do
hold
that.
this chair so I can sit like he did.
No, we're not doing that.
Yeah, but he sits on the back of the chair.
Oh shit! But he's a very particular ATF agent because he's sitting there like I'm counting like he's recording like the whole thing like during their test run of like the Sting. Where he's like, okay, I'm counting off $10,000, and the bag is white. It's like it's purple. It's like no, it's white with. And they're like getting into this weird little argument about. No, you see, the bag is white with pinkish purplish lettering with a beautiful woman. Actually, it's more like she's like a 7 out of 10. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, that was funny.
That was a great little bit there.
It's like it's a purple bag. No, it's a white bag.
White bag with purple on it.
It's purple images.
Purple images.
It's white with purple images.
Wait, can I have that? It's just such this great like humanitizing moment where you're like, oh no, I buy this. This is like something that people would do. It's like no, it's white with purple.
They look very conspicuous too when they're at the mall.
Right.
They
just look like
do
cops.
not blend in at all.
Your mom was talking about. I don't want to bring the story up.
Yeah, your mama.
I don't even know where this is going. What was she talking about?
Yeah, we'll not edit this.
She used to know.
Say Michael Keaton. Say Michael Keaton. Say Michael.
She didn't know Michael Keaton, but your mom used to have an old job.
Yes.
That involved
The interactions with members of law enforcement.
Oh, she was a criminal?
No.
Oh.
No.
What are we talking?
Bail bondswoman? Okay, they're having a little confab.
Yeah, it involved cops showing up at her place of establishment.
I mean, that can be.
And you can.
to time.
She was talking about how she can totally tell who the cops were because they all like had sunglasses and they all like wore button-up like Hawaiian shirts and jeans.
Well, I mean,
and they all dressed like that, and like you can totally tell they're cops.
Yeah. Well, also cops show up to a lot of places. Let's be honest now. Like if you work at
these were plainclothes cops.
Okay, if you work at like a deli, like the cops will show up. Like
well, it was back in the 80s or 90s when
they don't
these establishments
blend well.
Yeah, they don't.
These thing establishments.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
There was things going on.
What did you just say?
The fuck did you just mother? God.
No.
Why do you keep saying it?
We'll cut that out.
Yes, I will.
It was during the time when these establishments were often what's the word I'm looking for? Targeted by members of law enforcement. They were not drug dens because I feel like I'm suggesting it was a drug den. These establishments were often targeted by law enforcement because of laws that were around at the time, but they were also big patrons of these places. So, it's like
you could spot him.
If you see a guy with aviators, a mustache, a little twisty curl coming out of his ear, because it's like a wire, and then he's got like the shirt, and he's got a little bulge right here in the front. And he's wearing jeans.
Like, are you wearing a wire? It's like, what? Well, I can see a wire coming out of your ear right now. Like, no, that's my hearing aid. It's like you're in your early 30s. Yeah, tinnitus. That's what I got.
And all your friends are standing there watching you.
With their hands in front of them, clasped in front of them, standing at like modified parade rest. Very, very aware of their surroundings. I think one of them speaking into like one of those microphones like you see on a CB radio.
He's like on his watch.
He's obviously talking into his watch.
It's like that, and that was supposed to be undercover.
It's very super undercover.
It's like these guys, they're like, just wearing
so
jackets, like the sunglasses, like supposed to be undercover, but you can see like all their wires and stuff.
And they're like, he's like, "Hey cops, how you doing?" It's like, no, we're not cops. It's like, "Oh, feds?" Like, no, I mean, one of us is a fed, the other is a regular cop. No, don't tell him that.
Yeah, cops, at least
even when
they're not inconspicuous. They are so
the conspicuosity.
Easy to spot.
Okay, so who's the beach bunny again? Her name is
Bridget Fonda, who is like she's a third generation actor, like Hollywood royalty, so much talent in that family.
Oh yeah.
Again, I guess that's kind of another one of the ones that I'm like,
is her mom Jane Fonda?
Yeah, that's her aunt.
Oh.
Jane Fonda's her aunt. Peter Fonda is her dad.
It's a powerful family.
Henry Fonda was her grandfather.
It's almost as powerful as the Baldwins.
Do you think Bridget Fonda did the Jane Fonda workout?
Ooh. So no, but
it looked like she did from the film from what I saw.
Well, she's kind of a ton of fun in this because like she's sitting there like giving Samuel L. Jackson attitude. She's banging like really really quickly. Like they have a little talk just to show like, oh, when was the last time you met? Oh, when you were 14. Like cool. So yeah, what's going on there? Japan. This is me. Hey, you want to have sex? Yeah.
Yeah, that was a funny scene.
Like I'm in my 50s. You're like hopefully in your 20s.
That's what I love about Tarantino movies is like just when you feel like the scene is being stretched out too long, it cuts to the chase.
Yeah, I was like, oh, let's do that. Okay, and then
like,
it's
like that's exactly the moment when I like just before she said that, I'm like, the scene is fucking
going a little
forever.
long. Here we go, and then it's like, bam.
And I was like, oh, it changed up a little bit. The mood changed.
The whole thing, like it cuts. It has that like that. I think that's the like one of the only times where it shows like an act break where it's like 3 minutes later.
Yeah.
Like
well, it's funny. I like how he just uses things that unconventionally. He only uses it once in the movie if he has to.
Yeah.
He doesn't let anything hold him back. He's like, if I got to show where it is, like I'm gonna show where it is. Like if I have to do a split screen for no reason, I'm gonna do a split screen because there's no other way I can show this. So it's that so like he just thinks things like at the moment, like other filmmakers like, no, it doesn't really go with the flow. Like Quentin Tarantino's like,
no, just
I don't
do
care.
What you gotta do.
I just gotta do what I do to tell the story. And a lot of old movies, I think, did that because they didn't really care about flow or anything. They're just like, oh, like people watching this wouldn't know like what's going on right now.
Yeah.
Or they wouldn't remember like her taking the gun out or something like that. Or
nope.
So he just does the split screen right there because he wanted the audience to know in that moment that, she took the gun.
So really I think something that I really enjoyed from this film, probably one of my favorite moments, we were kind of messing around while we were watching this, is towards the end when she's getting ready for Samuel Jackson's character to show up at the Bonds place.
Yeah, she's maneuvered everyone to like show up here.
Right. Master manipulator. She's sitting there behind Max Cherry's desk, and she's got the drawer to the right is where the gun's at, and so she's like practicing pulling the gun out, and it looks
awkward,
so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And like,
you're like, oh no, she's not going to be able to do this.
You tested like yourself. You were like, could I do it? And you were like, oh, I would have killed her.
Well, if I was holding the gun like right there, but if I had to pull it out, maybe not.
Well, that's why they have the 21-foot rule. Is like, if someone with a knife within 21 feet can run up on you and kill you before you can unholster and like draw a weapon.
Okay, but it's literally sitting in the drawer.
Yeah.
Right next to her hand.
And it looks, every time she's doing it, it's like, it looks like, oh, she's gonna die.
That's probably one of my favorite scenes because it's ridiculous. And so she calls and she talks Robert Forster tells Samuel Jackson to call his office, the Bonds office, where she's waiting for him to call. And so like she so she's gonna like shoot him, so she's practicing that, and then she goes, "What? That's stupid. Why would I put myself in the situation where I have to shoot this guy?" And so she calls the ATF.
Yeah, and you see like who's
and
she
you're
calling?
like, shit.
You're sitting there like, who's she calling right now? What's going on? Because you can tell like she's like, oh yeah, this is not gonna work.
Yeah.
She's like, okay, this is a bad plan. And this is the great thing is like, it's not like she has the plan to begin with. It's like she's able to like say like, okay, here's plan A. Plan A doesn't work. Okay, let's get Michael Keaton in here to murder him for me.
And he shows up, lights are off.
Yeah.
Right. He comes up.
It's like, why are the lights off?
And
it's funny how he asks that every time too. He's like, why'd you keep turning the lights off? And then in that scene, he's like, why are the lights off? Why is it dark in here?
He fell for the same fucking shit.
And so Michael Keaton and the other dude burst out, and she goes, he's got a gun. And like the dude, like literally, like he doesn't have a gun in his hand, I don't think, and they shoot him.
I think he does have he has a gun.
He did?
Because
okay, I wasn't paying attention.
He had it to like on the bail bondsman, so he'd be like, yeah, don't go up in there too quick. I'm gonna shoot you first.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But like she played everyone,
and she got that $500K.
Absolutely.
Which again, like in today's money, you're sitting there like, well, listen, that's a lot of money. Like if any one of us got $500K, I'd be set for a while. I'd quit my job for a while. I'd invest or something.
I hope you'd invest.
Well, $500K, you can do some good stuff. It's not going to last you forever. Like
unless you invest it properly.
I think for us, it's probably around more 2 million that would get us to retire, but $500K.
I'd be sitting there like, okay, so I got $500K. Yeah, I'm gonna invest, or I'm gonna like do something with interest-bearing accounts. I'm gonna work part-time. I'm gonna work on this podcast and my other podcast like full-time.
Yeah, you could do that with $500K.
$500K. Yeah, as long as you're bringing in some money, like if you got money coming in and you're like doing it right.
Yeah, you can.
Especially the way I'm living, like within a room. Like, dude, I can totally live off $500K for a while.
So, yeah, but 2 million would be kind of that would be kind of the set for life if you got it around $2 or $3 million.
So it feels just incongruous enough with today's money that you're like, oh, $500K, that's a bit of a different score.
Yeah, that's not like the big score.
This movie, we're coming up on 25 years, which is kind of wild to think about.
Right? It holds up pretty well. Oh wait, we didn't talk about like Robert De Niro killing the beach bunny.
Oh yeah, he was so annoyed with her in the parking lot.
Well, yeah, because like they build it up really well. This is another one of Quentin Tarantino things. During the money exchange, like him and the beach bunny are like in the department store. They have to make the pickup. They make the pickup. Robert De Niro's like super like nervous. He's like getting turned around, and the whole time she is annoying the shit out of him. Like she like is like taking forever to get ready to come to a heist. Like he'd be like, "You're wearing shorts and like a halter top. What the fuck did you need to like get ready for 30 minutes for?"
I really enjoyed that scene actually.
Yeah, right?
She's like just pestering him.
Just like, oh wait, do you know where it is? Do you know where it is? Where is it? Where's the car? Where's the car? Like you getting turned around? It's like, don't say one word. He's like saying, don't say another. Please just don't say another word. Okay, blam.
He shot her like 2 or 3 times too.
I think twice. Yeah, blam one, then bang
stomach,
again.
And that knocked her down. And like when she was down, I guess shot her in the chest.
And
finish the job, I guess.
And he is like, yeah, Robert De Niro. He's been like smoking weed and just kind of hanging out this whole movie. But yeah, he's like, all the criminals in this are kind of like idiot losers. And so this is the kind of guy who would lose it. And Samuel Jackson later's like, you had to do it. And I guess it's like, and then why didn't you just hit her in the mouth? Like, I mean, technically that is preferable to shooting her, but it's like, yeesh.
Yeah. And then he thinks that he's kind of like getting away with it. And Samuel Jackson gets in the car with him and then shoots him.
Yeah, and this is the weird thing about like for Quentin Tarantino is like the violence in this is very like underplayed, like the way you mentioned it.
Yeah,
like
there's not a lot of exploding blood everywhere.
Yeah, a lot
of the violence happens off camera, off screen too.
Yeah, like when the first time he shoots her, the gun is out of frame, and then he shoots her again, but she's out of frame. And
so I mean, maybe following up on Pulp Fiction, he was like, let me try being a little less gory on screen.
And I think it also is
but then he immediately returned to that with Kill Bill.
Yeah, and I think it also has something to do with the fact that like this is not his like original screenplay. It's his screenplay, but it's from a book.
True, it is adapted from a book,
and it's still really good, like because he's a good filmmaker. So I really I did like that touch. Like Samuel L. Jackson shoots Robert De Niro. Spoiler alert. And like when he first shoots it, it's like the gun is like behind the seat and him, and then he puts the gun around straight into his chest, still out of frame technically behind, like the Robert De Niro and the seat is between us and the camera.
Yeah.
So it's like,
and even with Chris Tucker in the parking lot, it was zoomed way out.
oh yeah, so you just see two flashes. He opens it, it's like, what the hell's got pop pop?
Oh, you know what? And I pulled this up. Who was in this movie that was just a really pleasant surprise for me was Sid Haig, who played the judge in this movie.
Oh yeah, like
But
you were
he's a Rob Zombie
regular.
And
you were so excited. You were like, House of a Thousand Rejects. I'm like, I would pay to see that movie for one. But also, you were
Devil's Rejects and House of 10,000 Corpses.
No, I fully understand. Like, you got so excited. I'm like, oh, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, he's so good as like a manic, horrifying clown.
Right.
But like in this movie, he's
the judge. He's like, oh yeah, I need to get some work.
But he's still kind of like scary.
You see, like, oh, yeah, you can see, like, okay, I'm done with this judge job. I'm gonna go out to the backwoods and go
is it
like
10,000 Corpses or is it House of 1,000 Corpses?
I think House of 1,000, but still, like, I would like Rob Zombie.
10,000 corpses with inflation.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it's House of 1,000 Corpses and Devil's Rejects, and then 3 from Hell.
Also, listen.
What about The Hills Have Eyes?
Mr. Zombie.
And then Lords of Salem.
Mr. Zombie, I saw your San Diego show a while back, like the last one before COVID.
Oh, he's definitely watching.
Listen, if you're watching this, and you definitely are, make House of 1,000 Rejects. I will pay more than is reasonable to see that movie. All right.
That was.
You could be in it.
That was just one of the
No, I know.
things.
You
could be the 1,000th reject.
I could be. Wait, what the? It sounds
1,001th.
1,000
first.
He's like a reject of the. It's like, we're gonna have to cut it. This is 1,000 rejects, not 1,001. So.
Well, come on, man! I did the table read and everything. There was good chemistry there.
We're gonna have to reject you.
No, seriously.
Wait, this is rejects.
I need this job. My children. I gotta feed my kids.
You don't have children.
Shut up! I need this job.
It's like, imagine being rejected from the rejects. It's like, yeah, we understand what you're feeling. We're all rejects, ironically, but
you're the reject of the rejects, and like, come on, man! Like, you know how hard it is. We got a pandemic here. Look, we understand $1. Like Rob Zombie sitting there in like a suit, like with his dreadlocks, and they're like, listen, we understand the dollar doesn't go as far as it used to, but we have to make hard choices here, and we're not going to compromise our 1,000 reject like vision.
Yeah.
So slight derailment.
We don't want to be rejected.
Oh, we're already there. We're already
slight derailment from this. The very first concert that I saw was a Rob Zombie concert, and that was at Soma.
Oh. Soma's a good place.
Soma's good.
Yeah, like, I remember the first time I went to Soma, I'm like, wow, this doesn't look like a concert venue. It's like, oh, and you go in, it's like, yeah, this is like a old movie theater. Yeah, yes.
It's like concrete. It's like a weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like we took all
very brutalist architecture.
Yeah, we took all the seats out, so it's just a slanted thing of concrete.
Oh, yeah, it's terrible.
But there's always metal there, especially when it's not a pandemic. Listen, if you live in the San Diego area, Brick by Brick and Soma are great places for metal, like local metal, like small.
I've been to a couple. I've never liked metal. I'm gonna put my opinions out there.
And my sensei likes it, and I'm kind of cool with it. And I'm always down to go to a metal concert.
And even the metal shows even worse for me. Like I remember after leaving a metal show, like for a week, my ears are just like.
Well, you wear ear pro.
Ringing. I didn't wear earplugs ever, and probably damaged my hearing.
Didn't we have earplugs when we saw?
They sell them at the venue
when we went to Zombie.
Yeah, I took them out. No, just kidding. I had them. But yeah, and then it sounded like I was lisping after everything. Does that ever happen to you?
No, I wear ear pro to there because I know what
it's like.
doing.
Everything you sounds like saying lisp. Yeah, that Rob Zombie show was very
okay, you sound like you're doing Mike Tyson for one.
Yeah, that was.
It's crazy.
Anyway, Jackie Brown is honestly like a pretty underrated Quentin Tarantino film.
It's also it's a big departure from his normal like work. It feels very different. So like I can just see why it's underrated.
But it's worth the watch.
Very
Highly
much so.
recommend. Be prepared for a long period of time where you'll just be sitting watching it because it's about 2.5 hours.
Yeah, it's a long movie. It's a Quentin Tarantino movie, but it doesn't like feel like it's really dragging at any point. Everything's moving at all times. So that's why I didn't feel like there was a part where it dragged.
Get some whiskey, get some pizza.
Oh, can we get pizza?
Enjoy a nice long, get a comfortable
get a good pandemic movie
couch.
Going. Yeah,
and watch some Jackie Brown.
Well, hopefully you already have a comfy couch. Like if you need to get a couch to watch a movie, you're doing something wrong.
It's like you're listening to the Transmit Projects. All right, I got the whiskey, I got the pizza.
Movie.
Now I gotta get rid of this shitty couch, buy a new Quentin Tarantino viewing couch.
Yeah, I'm sitting on a 2x4 suspended between cinder blocks. So maybe that's what I've been doing wrong.
Go to like the furniture stores. Like, I need a movie to watch Jackie Brown, or a couch to watch Jackie Brown on.
Well, let me take you to our Quentin Tarantino section, sir.
You're ready.
Anyway.
Yeah, you look like you're ready to be done.
Thanks for listening to the Transmit podcast. I'm Samantha.
I'm Spike.
I'm Victor.
I'm allowing this because, like,
we'll
we messed up.
See you next time.